EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to Silicon Valley. And with the foghorns sounding behind us, that can only mean one thing, and that is it's time for football at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Straight ahead, we've got a pretty good one on tap here, as it'll be the Seattle Seahawks taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Here's the kicker, Jason Myers, to get this one started. And we are underway from Santa Clara. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. And trotting out there leading them is their fourth-year quarterback.
This is what this man was born for, the big spotlight on a national stage like this. Really, his entire career, he's demonstrated incredible poise no matter what type of situation his team was in. No situation is too big for him, and you can tell in the way that he takes the field. His self-belief is evident, and he gets the job done in his mind each and every time.
First carry of the game for Christian McCaffrey. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That's a good way to start the drive, 17 yards and a first down. Well, there you go. This offense off to a strong start this afternoon.
Yeah, with a big run and a first down. That's putting what you practice into play. That's excellent execution to get things started.
Purdy will set up to throw it here. It's caught by Mike Evans. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. 14 yards that time for number 14.
That's another 49er first down. First and 10 at the 42-yard line.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's first and 10 at the 42-yard line. Purdy off the play fake. Looking Mike Evans' way again, and he's got another one. He'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards.
7-yard pickup.
And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
And this is caught by Evans. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 14. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run. Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his third completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And a top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running downfield, and hope you can create a little bit of havoc.
It'll be a gain of 5, and it'll be second down. McCaffrey running up the middle. And he stopped immediately there. It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a third down at 4 now. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Purdy from the gun on third down. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up fourth down.
Well, that was his first target of the game, and it's going to take at least one more target to get him on the board. Took a nice substantial hit to jar that catch loose from him. Incomplete pass.
Pinheiro on for the field goal. A 26-yard attempt.
And this is up and good from Pinheiro. 49ers take a 3-0 lead. Well, that was a long, sustained opening drive, but in the end, only able to get the field goal out of it.
And absolutely, you'll take the points and the early leads. You never give those back. But there will be a little bit of disappointment that they didn't punch it in for 6 after that kind of yardage and that kind of drive that they had.
After the field goal, on to kick it away is Pinheiro. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. Commanding the offense will be the highly touted USC product, Sam Darnold.
And the thing with Sam Darnold is we know the skill set is there. May not be the most mobile or strongest arm quarterback in the league, but usually plays with really good poise and at his best, like a point guard in basketball, able to move around and distribute the rock.
Looking to put a drive together. A quick throw caught by Kupp out wide. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down. If you're these receivers, you got to be ready, because when he's going to throw it quick on that RPO, he's going to throw it quick.
And this is why you spend time with your guy either in the offseason, during the week, the whole bundle. Because sometimes it's just telepathy. You both see the same thing, and he knows get the ball to him right away.
So the completion good for just 3. And that's going to bring up second down.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with third down now looming.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Third down and 1. Now off the bootleg, Darnold. Rush coming, and he's taken down. The safety blitz turns out to be a great call defensively as they sack him for a loss of 9. And nowhere to hide on that play.
No, there was not, because every exit door, that was surrounded. And I think that was supposed to be a bootleg, but he had no chance to get outside the pocket and try and make a play.
On fourth down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. That one hit right at the 9, but he couldn't get it to check up. It goes into the end zone for a touchback. Back out there comes the 49ers offense, ready for their second drive. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. Purdy now to throw off the play action. On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be second down.
That's an early scramble that can be viewed positively by either side. From the offensive point of view, it begins to establish him as a possibility to keep it on certain plays. And defensively, they avoided giving up a huge play in one of their first tests in containing a quarterback on the run.
This is McCaffrey on the give. And he's going to have a Niners first down as he's got this up to the 35-yard line.
Second and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on third down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
And now a jet sweep. This is Evans with it. On this one, it may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away. And tip your cap to DeMarcus Lawrence. Nice play defensively. That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
Now this time they'll throw it. Here's Purdy. And that's good for a gain of 6. And that'll lead here to a third down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
Third down and 6. Here's Purdy. That is caught. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 39. Now following the completion, we're going to get a stoppage here for an injury. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. This is McCaffrey. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Purdy bootlegging it. This is caught. It's Kirk. Touchdown, 49ers. Christian Kirk, 36 yards. And the 49ers are able to extend their lead. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
Eddie Pinheiro now for the extra point. He's got it, and now it's a 10-0 lead here in the opening quarter. So that drives 7 plays in length. And it's polished off by a touchdown for San Francisco. So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their second drive. They'll look to get something started. They need to, down 10-0 early as they've got it 1st and 10. Here's Darnold. Smith and Jigbo hauling it in on the out route. Call it no gain there on the first down play. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
And this throw incomplete. The defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to third down.
How about that? Red man coverage and decided to test them early, but they proved up to the task and forced the incompletion.
The threat of a second straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10. Now Darnold. He'll try and do this himself. And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to the 30. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a 4th down situation.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the 1st down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
Here's Michael Dixon now to punt. Kirk now, the return man. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. It'll be a 47-yard punt with a net of 40 following a 7-yard return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Purdy going to lead the 49ers to the line. 1st and 10 at their own 27. And he'll start by handing this off to McCaffrey. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync. And the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
Another run with McCaffrey on 2nd down. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down. If this defense wants to stay in this ball game, they've got to start ending some drives. That helps.
And they have to look ahead at what they expect the offense to do, and right now with that lead, that's run the football. So you don't just stack the line of scrimmage. You have to get upfield and try and make some plays in their backfield.
Purdy now to throw. He finds his target. It's Evans. And he is going to have a Niners 1st down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4. A pretty sizable deficit here in the 1st quarter. This defense probably need to get off the field in those situations on 3rd down.
And you and I both know in this huddle before that last 3rd down play, that's exactly what they talked about. Let's make a play. Let's get off the field. Let's reverse the momentum. Instead, they got hit with another 1st down. Almost back to the drawing board.
And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there. Forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down. They'll give it up to McCaffrey. And he'll be pretty well stopped in his tracks. Give him a yard up to the 42.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the 1st down. Now Purdy. And that will be incomplete.
Well, they came up with points in their first 2 possessions, but it looks like they'll come up empty here on their 3rd drive. The defense finally starting to get locked into them a little bit. Might have to go a little bit deeper into their playbook on their next possession.
Here's Corliss Waitman now. Back deep, Rashid Shaheed. And out now come the Seahawks. Still in the 1st half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. Looking to put a drive together. As Shaheed going to go in motion. Back to throw, Darnold. That'll be taken in by Shaheed. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first?
A gain of 30. First down, Seattle.
(10-0) the score after one on EA Sports. Seahawk football here to start quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 1st and 10. They'll run straight ahead with Wilson. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
From the 47 now, they work with a 2nd and 7. They'll run again with Wilson. He'll get about 4 here, down to the 43-yard line.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Darnold. He's got his target. That's complete. And he takes us just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Fred Warner. And the 49ers are going to get the football back at their own 17. Well, he had to fit that into a pretty tight window over the middle. And, Charles, I think they were in zone defensively, weren't they?
They certainly were. Nice read on your part. And sometimes the quarterback isn't fooled between zone and man. Sometimes just fooled by the type of zone that he sees. Because oftentimes, those linebackers will vacate and run downfield with receivers. In this case, he played a pure zone and was in the wrong spot for the QB.
Purdy going to lead the 49ers to the line, 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Connected here with Christian McCaffrey. And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. A good pickup there at 22.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a 1st down.
McCaffrey. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Those are the plays this defense needs with the deficit they're facing.
It certainly is, and they've got to continue to swarm the football and hope that someone, while they're holding up the ball carrier, can get in there and rake it and lock it free. They need to get some takeaways as well.
2nd down and right back to McCaffrey. Oh, he faked it with a juke. Now he's got some room. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 57 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries. One thing that's great about watching him run, Charles, he doesn't hesitate. He got to the left side of his own line and just went.
So there's 2 ways to look at that. One, just absolutely unconcerned, just takes off and goes. but more the latter, I think, which is he has absolute confidence in the guys in front of him, the guys doing the blocking for him. He just takes it and goes with abandon.
That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that'll bring up second down. Now a first carry for their fullback. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Well, after that pickup of a first down, I think some of the defensive guys are going to be looking over their coordinator and saying that was not in the scouting report. That went against every tendency most teams have. You don't usually hand the ball to your big guy in that situation. Sometimes you catch them by surprise.
McCaffrey on the toss right. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, second and 12. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles, rolling the second quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. Might have to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that'll bring us to a 3rd and 4.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
The Niners on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Purdy. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And able to get this down inside the 15 to either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. 3rd and 4, he did just enough, and I mean just enough to move the chains.
And that's all you're looking for, right? Just want to keep the drive moving. You don't need the big play there. Just get to that marker that you described, and he was able to do just that.
Now a toss. This is McCaffrey. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
They work now on 2nd and 9. Purdy looking to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and that'll leave them with a 3rd and just a yard. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Here now, 3rd and a yard. They'll try and pick it up in McCaffrey. And he will have the first down before he's brought down at the 3.
It's a gain of a yard. That's another 49er first down.
We ought to come up with a T-shirt and sell it that says no indecision on 3rd and 1. And we didn't see it on that run, did we? Got his shoulders square, just got right into the line of scrimmage and picked it up.
Absolutely picked his lane. And across the goal line into the end zone. Touchdown 49ers. Christian McCaffrey, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Niners are able to stretch out their lead.
Boy, we talk a lot about Christian McCaffrey and what he can do in the open field, and it's easy to gloss over how tough he can be to stop near the goal line. And he shows you just how tough he is on that carry as he takes it into the end zone.
Pinheiro now to add the extra point. He's got it, and it's 17-0. So that drive, 12 plays in length. And the last play on the drive, the touchdown run from Christian McCaffrey. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're
you
down.
don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that'll make it second down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here. And if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 7 yards there and a first down.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Another carry for Wilson. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5.
Consecutive positive runs for him on the last 2 snaps. He certainly appears to be trying to put the offense on his back and just move them down the field when his number is called. The way he's running it, I'd keep going back to him.
Line of scrimmage, the 43 on 2nd and 4. Here's Darnold. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. First target, first catch, and a first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Wilson with a first down carry. But I think the ball's out. And this is going to get out of bounds, so they will gain a bit of yardage on the play, actually, and they'll hold on to the football as well. You can almost see inside his face mask there the look of relief. He coughed it up, but it goes out of bounds. They keep it.
Someone carrying around the lucky horseshoe, aren't they? If I were him, I'd go out and play the lottery after that one. A very fortunate man.
And they're operating in plus territory here. They're thinking points. Definitely don't want to lose the football at this juncture. To the flat, that's complete to his running back. And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss on that play, and now 3rd down gets tougher. 3rd and 6. Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. From the gun on 3rd down, here's Darnold. He'll try and do this himself. Darnold, he can beat you in a number of ways, and there the scramble for the first.
It's a gain of 8. That's another Seahawks first down.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now it's Darnold. A throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
Nice progress down the field was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. Oh, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they did incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Darnold now to throw. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Oh, he left that one in a bad spot, but fortunately it's just an incompletion and not picked to bring up 4th down.
They've had multiple opportunities on offense and still haven't scored any points. felt like they wanted to loosen things up, throw it downfield, and see if maybe they could get a big play and a quick strike.
And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. And they're on the board at least here. It's now 17-3. Now, that's something of a pick-me-up. The offense certainly has struggled, but they do get the field goal before half to put 3 on the board.
Yeah, you don't want to be shut out, but let's face it, those 3 points, that's not going to solve all their problems either.
Myers now converted on the field goal try. Now he's on to kick it away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Christian McCaffrey and his 49er teammates back onto the field. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. They'll start on the ground here on first down. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 76 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. He'll get this underneath to McCaffrey. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Now 2nd and 3. Purdy will set up to throw it here. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
I can put just a little bit too much heat on that one. When you throw it to the outside, you do have to be careful because you got to keep it away from the defender, but you also have to give your own guy a chance too.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. And throwing here, Purdy. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
Here's Corliss Waitman now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And that'll kick and go out of bounds just outside the 15 at the 16-yard line. The Seahawks going to take over now late in this first half. Well, not much time remains here in this first half. We'll see if they can get something out of this drive, at least a field goal. They could certainly use it down by 2 scores. To throw is Darnold. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. Second down and 5. Now back to throw. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. This now a 3rd and 4. They're going to look to throw. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down.
It's going to be another frustrating end to a drive here. This offense, they've not been able to get anything going in this first half. And now it's going to be time to gather on the sidelines and try and figure out what's going wrong. Who has an idea? Who has a plan? Time to implement it.
Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. The 49ers offense and Christian McCaffrey ready to go once more. And he has been a big component of the passing game so far. You see the numbers for this first half. This defense is going to need to find some way to key in on him because he is eating them up right now. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. Already enjoying a 2-score lead here late in the second quarter. Not a ton of time left. We'll see if they can work this at least into field goal range and try to get 3 to add on even more to their lead. Not able to go anywhere that time. 2nd down.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
Back to throw, Purdy. Again to the mid-tight end, George Kittle. Now San Francisco going to call their 2nd timeout as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half.
1st and 10 at the 46-yard line.
Here's Purdy. That's going to be caught by Kirk. Now the Niners going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout. So as they talk it over, we step aside.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down. Executed it to perfection. Again, it's Purdy to throw it. That's to the sideline and incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another 1st down.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Purdy now to throw off the play action. Looking for the out route. He's got it. Complete to Kittle. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. A 14-yard gain there as they look to improve this 14-point lead.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
The kick by Pinheiro is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So a big play before the end of the half to get them into this spot, and they cash in with 3.
How about the 1-2 to the solar plexus on that one? The big play, the field goal, not much time left on the clock. That's the way to go into the half.
So time enough for a kickoff here. 5 seconds remaining in this first half. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
He'll take the knee, and the final couple seconds will tick by in this first half.
All right, Brandon, thanks much. Welcome in, everyone, to the Orlando studios. Scott Hansen with you for a quick recap of the first half, which has been strongly one-sided. This is heading towards blowout territory unless they can come from behind and get themselves a victory. Let's find out what happens in the second half. Let's go back out to the commentary team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Scott, thanks very much. And we welcome all of you back here on EA Sports for quarter number 3. The Seahawks trailing, but they will have possession first here as we resume action in the third quarter. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Here comes the Seahawks offensive unit. They'll have it first to begin the third. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball into the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
Looking to put a drive together. A play fake, and it's Darnold. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. That is Nick Bosa from out on the edge who worked his way in for the sack.
Chalk that one up to bad acting, I guess, because they certainly failed to sell the handoff, and the pressure stayed keyed in on the quarterback. No Oscar awards for this offense, just a loss of yardage.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. A quick throw caught by Cup out wide. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 15.
A gain of 2 on the play. And this is third down.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Now Darnold. He's going to float this one deep right side. He's got him in. Complete. It's a big play there for Seattle. 47 yards.
47 on the play. That's good for a Seahawks first down. 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line.
Now that one hurts defensively. They force them into 3rd and long, had the advantage, yet they give up the big play right there.
Yeah, their offense was already warming up on the sideline, ready to come out. So much for that 3 and out. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
13 more yards. That's another Seahawks first down. 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line.
And from the gun, here's a handoff to Charbonnet. And they're knocking on the door now. As a good run there, going to take this to about the 10-yard line. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
The more football I watch, the more I want to check and see if teams are going to panic when they're down on the scoreboard. And this team has shown no signs of doing that. A lot of the time, they come out after the half. Things haven't worked so well in the first go-around. They want to throw the football like crazy. But the way to open up throwing the ball is to run it. And they've run it well here to start the second half.
Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
Out of the gun to give to Charbonnet. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
Big play coming here. It's third and goal. Here's Darnold. He'll try and do this himself. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Sam Darnold taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Seahawks are able to cut into this lead as they score on the opening drive of the second half.
Hey, you're down on the scoreboard, but now your offense is in close, and this is where, as a quarterback, you say, I've got to make a play here. Doesn't matter whether it's a pinpoint throw or a scramble like this one. He takes matters into his own hands and delivers a touchdown run.
Jason Myers now for the extra point. It's up, it's good. That'll make the scoreline 20-10. So that drive goes 8 plays. And it was capped off by a 12-yard touchdown run. After the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. Here's a look at the 49ers offense as they make their way out for their first possession of the second half. And they were terrific in the first half, built up a sizable lead, and it's just been cut into a bit following the opening drive score on the other side. But this is a unit that has to be itching to get the football again.
You can say that again. They've got to be pretty eager because, let's face it, they've had to sit through halftime, then sit on the sidelines and watch that drive. So you can bet that they're saying, let's get on with this. We got to go out there and get some more points.
Now Purdy. Over the middle to Evans. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Here's McCaffrey. And McCaffrey going to pick up a Niners first down as he'll get this up past the 35-yard line.
They were not fooling around at all, were they? 2nd and short, and they brought out the heavy package. Almost felt like the super heavy package against that defense, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that much beef up front, and it turned into an easy first down conversion. Purdy now to throw. Pass caught by Pearsall. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And it's 2nd down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
A handoff, McCaffrey running right. On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40. 98 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
A good run there off right tackle in an old-school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009-2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
A 7-yard
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
From the 34-yard line, here's 2nd and 3. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. A beautiful fake. A second fake. Touchdown, 49ers. Christian McCaffrey, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And his guy's now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Pinheiro now to add the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. So that drive, 6 plays, 75 yards. Let's play on the drive, the touchdown run from Christian McCaffrey. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. They did what they had to do to start this 3rd quarter, went down, got the touchdown to cut the lead, but the matching touchdown a moment ago, and we're right back where we started at halftime.
Yeah, you're exactly right, partner. They had a little bounce in their step after scoring that first touchdown, but the defense gave one up, and that's the problem right now. Can they get better play from their defense while they continue to score on offense?
On the ground, the drive starts with Wilson. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Brandon, we just saw the benefits of being able to run the ball successfully. They pick up 4 yards on that carry. So now if you're a play caller, you can do just about anything you want. But on the defensive side of the ball, you scramble a little bit. Now you're behind trying to figure out, do I need to blitz him? Do I need to pressure him? How do I gain an advantage on this snap?
That's complete to his running back, Wilson. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
The defense was ready for the back to leak out and even had a second player waiting to double him up. If you're going to commit to doubling a back, you better prevent a completion, but give him credit. Extra determination, extra effort, turn it into a successful play.
They'll run with Wilson out of the shotgun. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. 40 yards rushing for him now to this point.
They've been running it well all game, and why not? The big guys up front, they're just having a ball, creating monster holes for their guys to run through.
From the 44-yard line, here's 2nd down and 1. Back to throw, Darnold. Gets this complete to Shaheed. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 45-yard line. He's up to 88 yards receiving in the ball game now, and he's got a 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
Faking the give, Darnold. And complete to Smith and Jigba. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
1st down. A gain of 18 on
Well,
the
we
play.
talk all the time about playing situational football. And right now, I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
Now they'll hand it off to Wilson. Shrugs the tackle.
Nice.
Great footwork, but still wrangled down before reaching the 20. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
From the 21, here's a 2nd down and 4. Darnold. We'll get that to Charbonnet. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8.
It's a gain of 8.
We often talk about understanding the playbook, understanding progressions, and understanding what the defense is doing. We saw all of that on that play. Great recognition and understood where his running back was going to be. Found a way to have him leak out underneath, hit him with the football, and they picked up the 1st down.
A give. This is Wilson. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
Down in this one, they needed that score, but they'll have to hold at least for the time being.
You're exactly right. Points that they had to have. As you said, they have to regroup now and see if they can get them another way.
Off of play action, Darnold. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. Osa Odighizuwa breaking through to get him to the ground. It's a loss of 7. And it's never good to take a sack. You really don't want to take one down here in this part of the field down near the red zone.
Not at all, because you're already pretty much assured of a field goal. But you take a big sack, it could push you out of range, and that's why defenses get a little more aggressive in this situation. They're almost conceding the 3 points. They want to push you back and try and take you out of that.
Here's Darnold. And it's caught. And so close, he gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. And Kyle Shanahan doesn't care much for that last call, so out comes the red challenge flag.
The previous play is under review.
Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
Winds up a very good call there defensively to challenge that one, as that now will wind up an incomplete pass. Facing some long odds here if they hope to convert, as they're well behind the original line of scrimmage. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Going right back to Smith and Jigba. And they're going to drop him well shy of the 1st as he can only make it to the 11. So 8 yards on the completion there. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the 1st down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Myers' kick is good. And we're going to stop play here, at least momentarily. It looks like there is a 49er who's in some discomfort. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. Myers now converted on the field goal try. Now he's on to kick it away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Niners offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And he's been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been totally taken apart, and that is borne out in his numbers. He's been terrific all game long. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? I mean, they score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you think you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here in Santa Clara. It's 49er football here. They've got the lead as well as we get set to start the fourth and final quarter. Second down and a yard. McCaffrey running up the middle. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1. That time they're able to bottle him up, but he's having a really nice game.
I agree with that. Let's just go big picture, right? Every back that's in the Hall of Fame had carries where they didn't gain yardage or they lost yardage, but you stick with them, don't you? When they're having a good game, keep feeding them.
He's got room. And he is going to have a 49ers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Yards on the play. And the 49er first down. 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. I'm sure that that's going to be the formula. Just keep the ball on the ground, keep that clock moving.
And when you have the lead this late in the game, above all, stay in bounds. Yes, take care of the football. Yes, gain yardage, but stay in bounds and let that clock tick.
And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a first down.
And the 49er first down. 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
From the shotgun to McCaffrey. And he'll bring this one inside the 35. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. If you can keep getting gains like that, Charles, with the lead here in the 4th quarter, I mean, keep running it, right?
No doubt about it, but what the offense coordinator has to do is understand. They're going to continue to stack the line of scrimmage. What runs do you have in your arsenal that'll work against a stacked box and continue to move the ball?
Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss, and now it's 3rd down. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 17-yard line.
49er first down. First and 10 at the 17-yard line.
Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Breaks a tackle. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
First down. First and goal at the
Starting to
3-yard
look like
line.
this drive, it may be the final nail in the coffin.
Well, this is why you work out so hard, right? This is why you spend all that time in the offseason. This is why you have those OTAs and minicamps for these situations.
And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Isaac Guerrero, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Niners have pretty well put it away here in the fourth quarter. But just power football there, down near the goal line. Give it to him. He's able to push his way across.
Yeah, they went heavy there. Sometimes you have those big offensive linemen come in, have to report like they're eligible. But all they're doing is getting a good stance, blocking, and getting their runner across the goal line.
Pinheiro now to add the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points.
Makes the score Niners.
The 10-play drive that time. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. They juked him. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Darnold now to throw. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And it's second down.
I think as he began this throw, you saw that the area was congested, but he has a lot of confidence in his arm, and he fits that one in there nicely. They pick up the catch, not much yardage afterwards.
On the ground, it's Wilson. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. First down, Seattle on a pickup of 13.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
They'll get 13 yards for the second play in a row.
13 more yards.
Well, that's the fear any defense has when the quarterback gets involved in the running game. You don't usually account for him, and he's hurting them today.
Yeah, he's been very involved in the running game. Defensively, when you got the coverage good downfield, how do you account for him, though?
Occasionally, you start to spy him. Take someone who has the same agility, who can dance with him, run with him, and try and keep him in the pocket.
That'll be especially critical here as we come down the stretch in the fourth. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Nick Bosa able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
Well, partner, you and I will be headed to the airport, but after this game, when it's interview time, someone's going to ask this quarterback what hurt worse, the interceptions or the sacks. his whole day, it's been rough. Barring a miraculous comeback, this offense isn't going to win this game, but he's probably going to say what hurt most is the loss.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. And to the left side here, Wilson. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
I like the thinking there because right after a sack, it can be a great time to call for a screen to your running back and use the eagerness of the defense against him. Able to gain some positive yards out of this one and make things a little bit easier for him on third down.
Now it's Darnold. He'll find Shaheed out to the right. And he does not get to the first down marker as they stop him at the 19. So they'll get 8 out of that completion. And that's going to make it fourth down.
A short gain that doesn't get them the first down brings up a fourth down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. Boy, and now they can't even get a play off.
Delay of game, offense.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
Still fourth down.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on fourth down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Fourth down, and for Darnold, it's desperation time. Pass to the sideline and pulled in. And he is out of bounds, looks like right at the 15. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on fourth. Felt compelled to go for it there on fourth down, trailing in the fourth quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a fourth down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
Now he's going to step, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
We all know he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but definitely not today. His team trailing by multiple touchdowns, and a late sack, just a parting gift from the defense for him to take back to the locker room with him.
Here's 2nd and 10. To throw is Darnold. Outright to Smith and Jigba. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
It's a gain of 9 yards. And this is 3rd down.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. From the gun on 3rd down, here's Darnold. He'll try to pick it up himself. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
Oh, man. Just when the D thought they had the answer for it, he went and changed the question. Surprises him by taking off himself. He's able to set up his offense pretty with a 1st and goal.
Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. Looking in zone, but it's incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
No one left in the backfield as they send a man left. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. A big win there defensively on 2nd and goal. A loss of 7, and it brings up 3rd. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Under pressure, they got him again. Michael Williams providing a little deja vu, back-to-back sacks, and now they're staring at a 4th and long.
Guys with his talent in the pocket aren't supposed to be getting hit like this, and you know an intense conversation with the offensive line is going to occur after this one. Might not be from him, but the offensive line coach will have plenty to say about this game.
And able to catch it, but he's out of bounds. And the throw took it beyond the sideline, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. Well, their first fourth down attempt earlier was successful. This one backfires for a turnover on downs.
I like their aggressiveness. I like what they're doing. They got it the first time they went for it. Why not a second time? I don't think they'll be daunted from attempting it again. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, though, any fourth down stop is a big momentum play.
Purdy going to lead the 49ers to the line, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. And he'll start by handing this off to McCaffrey. Up past the 25 to the 26, a gain of 5.
26. It's a pickup of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. And they're not going to get this one off in time. It'll be a delay.
Delay of game, offense.
Now the offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted.
Still 3rd down.
Instead of a 3rd and 4, now they have to manage a 3rd and 9 after the delay of game. Shotgun now with Purdy. And this is caught by Evans. And he's not going to sniff the first down here. He stopped at the 25. It'll go as a gain of 4. And it'll be 4th down.
That pattern and scheme was well defensed on 3rd down. He tried to just sprint from one side of the field to the other, and they got it to him quickly. But no chance at yards after the catch there, and they stop him short.
The Waitman now to punt as he sends this one away. A big kick, 50 yards that time with a return of 4. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Oh, he dropped it, and that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
Now Darnold. Smith and Jigbo hauling it in on the out route. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
And this is 3rd down.
Here's Darnold. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. Nice 3rd down conversion and even 20 yards. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
From the 50, it's Darnold. He's got Cooper Kupp on the slant. And one of the whistles for timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
Darnold to throw again. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
Now a 2nd and 10. Back to throw, Darnold. One last shot at the end zone. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Well, these guys are not going to go out with their tails between their legs. They're going to keep taking their shots until the clock's at 000. But that one, like a lot of others, winds up incomplete.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. One last shot at the end zone. And that will be incomplete. They were going for a consolation TD, but it was not to be. And time has run out now on this game. So the victory here for San Francisco. And when you break it down, you know, this was just a thoroughly dominating performance.
And I truly thought that we'd have a tight game coming into this one. I think you felt the same way based on our conversation after the production meeting. But obviously not the case. And how about just how it broke open? You know, you just all of a sudden, whoosh, there it is. This thing is pretty much done. And the crowd stayed with it to celebrate because they're like, let's enjoy watching our team play this well. This is fun.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.